Good morning, guys, in TGIF. That's right, it's Friday, April the 13th, 2018. You're watching the Daily Mix TV by Hill Story Marketing. Hey, guys, my name is Sean Patrick Hillman. I'm the CEO. So for a little flashback Friday, I thought we'd open up with a scene from Friday the 13th, the original. And yes, that was in fact Kevin Bacon. You know, it's so funny when you go back and watch movies like Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street from the early 80s, and you see megastars like Kevin Bacon and certainly Johnny Depp in the original Nightmare. How little screen time they got back then, and certainly how young they were. So, little fun flashback Friday for everybody. On to the news. In the condiment section, the war is heating up. On Wednesday, Heinz launched a contest of sorts, pitting its new creation, which was a blend of ketchup and mayonnaise called Mayo-Chup, up against the American palate. Heinz is asking their fans to vote yes on Twitter for the condiment. Now, Heinz, which sold almost $7 billion worth of sauces and condiments in 2016 alone, would make the product available in bottle form if they get enough votes for, quote, you saucy Americans. Now, as media outlets and bloggers alike began to report about this new offering, the Twitterverse exploded with comments on the sauce's actual origin story. As residents of Puerto Rico, Argentina, Colombia, Germany, and the American Midwest have been pointing out, mayo ketchup sauces have been a part of their culinary landscape for decades. Meanwhile, others are pointing out that regardless of whether or not Heinz ends up actually releasing this product, other versions like Goya's Mayo Ketchup and the artisan-branded Stevens Gourmet are already available on U.S. store shelves. No polling required. Look, guys, polling contests like this have been done a million times. This is nothing new. I've done it a few times for clients. But for Heinz to allude to their fans that this is a new invention of sorts is a little nuts, and frankly, I'm really disappointed. In the interest of full disclosure, I've been a Heinz customer my entire life. I've used many of their products and some of their tester products, which were very good. Now, the reality for me is that I think Heinz really dropped the ball on this one. They could have made it a lot more fun. They certainly could have disclosed that this is not an actual new invention of any kind. This is their new variant. That's a different story. Now, on the other side of the condiment aisle, Hellmann's, known for their popular mayonnaise product, announced on April 6th, which was National Tomato Day, that they've launched a new ketchup, Hellmann's Real Ketchup, which is sweetened only with honey. Hellmann's believes, according to their press materials and some of the interviews that I've seen, that real, simple ingredients is the key here, which is why they're only using 6 ingredients in this product. So that's tomato puree, it's honey instead of high fructose corn syrup, which I think is phenomenal, white wine vinegar, spices, onion powder, and salt. Now, I love it when iconic brands like Hellmann's expands into other offerings. Over the years, they've flirted with other formats like dressings and spreads and whatnot. So Hellmann's releasing a ketchup really isn't a stretch. And it's not like they're positioning this as the be-all, end-all new ketchup. Especially given the amount of ketchup and mayonnaise brands there are, it's nice to see straightforward messaging. Simple product, simple ingredients, sweetened only by honey. And I think that's a very important differentiator, especially in that section of the aisle. Now, knowing this brand, it will be successful, so look for it in your grocer's condiment section or on your grocer's website for delivery, if that's how you get groceries. I have a feeling, knowing Unilever, who owns Hellmann's, that we're going to see a lot more variants and extensions coming from the Hellmann's brand very soon. Now, going over to hair care, Cal USA's John Frieda hair care brand has added a new influencer to its Your Hair Talks, Make a Statement campaign. Camila Mendez, who plays Veronica Lodge in the CW's Riverdale, has joined the New York City-based brand's campaign as an influencer. Now, she's going to work with the Frieda team to create content that highlights her personal hair story and the role it's played in her life according to the company. Mendes will also host events and social activations over the course of her year-long partnership with the brand. Quote, "My hair has always been a definitive part of my personal style, so I love being a part of a campaign that celebrates hair as a form of expression. I'm excited to join Your Hair Talks Make a Statement with so many other bold, inspired women," according to Mendes, who has 7 million Instagram followers. Now, if you've watched Riverdale or you've ever seen Camila Mendes, she has very beautiful, very thick, luxurious hair. So I see where this makes sense. Given her fan base and the popularity of the CW program Riverdale, this makes a lot of sense. So Mendes has been a regular user of the brand's Frizz Ease products since she discovered them in a magazine, according to the company. Frieda is now the second Cow USA brand, though, with a Riverdale influencer on board. So Madeline Petch, who plays Cheryl Blossom on the show, is acting as brand ambassador for the Cincinnati, Ohio-based company's Biore skincare brand. So obviously Cow is looking at teenagers, Xennials, so Gen Z and Xennials, so not Xennials, Gen Z, so teenagers, and then just above that, the youngest millennials on the spectrum. That's who they're targeting with these campaigns. So I think it's very smart. Knowing Camila and what she's done and the media that she continues to do to support the show, this certainly has a lot of legs for Cow. Now, as many of you know, my wife Kylie is a vegetarian. So needless to say, look, I'm a caveman, I'm a carnivore, guys. So it goes without saying that choosing meals in restaurants is somewhat of a challenge. Well, if I decide I want a stack of 10 sliders at White Castle, it's nice to know that Kylie will have an option. Impossible Foods promised to revolutionize vegan meat alikes with what it calls the Impossible Burger. And after navigating the FDA minefield last year and rolling out to a few restaurant chains, it's now ready for the spotlight. So the Impossible Burger is now actually available at White Castle, believe it or not, across the United States, in the form of the Impossible Slider. It's a $1.99 sandwich with zero actual meat. The burger itself is a highly scientific amalgamation of wheat, coconut oil, potato protein, soy, and a handful of other ingredients. It all comes together to form a patty that's remarkably meat-like in appearance, and it even bleeds when you bite into it. I don't want to know what's coming out of it. Welcome to the future, kids. White Castle will be serving the new burger alternative in 140 of its stores starting today, but plans on expanding the offering to all 380 of its locations before the end of the year. Now, the partnership between White Castle and Impossible Foods makes the Impossible Burger the first vegan burger to hit fast food restaurants on a large scale. That is a huge achievement, especially given White Castle's base. I mean, you're talking about notoriously one of the single worst for you products on the planet, and I absolutely love it. It's great for late night outs, those kinds of things. Look, a White Castle slider is delicious. We all know that. But when you calculate and figure that brands like McDonald's and Burger King haven't jumped on the vegan movement, but White Castle has, very interesting point of differentiation. It's going to be interesting to see how customers embrace to the new meat-free burger option, especially since it costs about twice as much as a standard White Castle slider. Now, we likely won't have to wait for long before seeing plenty of varied reactions. My name is Sean Patrick Hillman. I'm the CEO of Hill Story Marketing. I'm also the editor-in-chief of the Daily Mix TV. Have a great day, guys. Have a great weekend. Catch you on Monday.